Today, we're here with Dr. Lorena Franco, and she works for the Student Empowerment Unit. So welcome, Dr. Franco. And let's start by telling us a bit about yourself. How long have you been working for the district, and what is your current position in the Student Empowerment Unit?
Hi, thank you for inviting me. It's such a pleasure to be here with you. So I was born in Mexico City. I moved to the US when I was in high school. When I came to the US, I was undocumented. In fact, I was undocumented for many years. And so I sort of have that as one of the priorities when I work with students, to support students who are newcomers and who are new to the country, maybe even the students who are undocumented. So just because that's kind of like my background. And then I came to the US in high school. I attended an LA Unified school. And then as I was a student in high school, I began working as a TA. And then I continued working as a TA until I finished college. And then I started teaching. Most of my teaching career was in Region South, working with students in that area. And then I also served as a coordinator, as an instructional coach, just in different positions. Currently, I'm working as the director of the Student Empowerment Unit, and it's just sort of been like the best position, the best job that I have ever had. It's just such amazing, such wonderful work that we're doing in that unit.
I'm just so happy that you're enjoying your work so much and doing so much for our students also. Dr. Franco, many people may not know that your unit works with students district-wide, from supporting multiple student advisory councils, such as the Superintendent Student Advisory Council and the Office of Government Relations Student Advisory Council, and you also support the Student Board Member and offer student leadership conferences.
Yeah, so the Student Empowerment Unit is small but mighty. We do a lot of work with our youth across LA Unified. As you mentioned, we're working with multiple councils. And just like one of the priorities of the Student Empowerment Unit is to make sure that we create spaces for students to be able to elevate their priorities, to be able to enhance their leadership skills, to be able to have that communication with their decision makers, not only in our district, but also within our communities. And so really just to provide that space for them. And the reason we do that is because there's so much research that shows that when students are engaged, when students participate in leadership opportunities, they do better academically, they have better attendance, they're in terms of like mental health, their mental health is better, self-efficacy. So college readiness, like there's so many benefits for student engagement, student participation in leadership opportunities. And so that's one of the priorities. And I always say that the work of the Student Empowerment Unit is life-changing. And that comes from our youth when they talk about like the different programs that they are part of and that we offer for them. And so with the Student Advisory Councils, currently we're working with almost 300 students district-wide, and they represent most of our high schools and many of our middle schools. And so we have student participation from different schools, and the students work on the student-led projects. They just do so much wonderful work to support their peers. And so we feel like even though it's about 300 students, the work that they do has an effect on their peers district-wide. So we're really affecting the work we're really affecting and impacting in a positive way thousands of students district-wide. And we also offer student leadership conferences where students get to engage with community leaders and role models. And it's also a great opportunity for them to engage with our youth and come back. Many of them are LAUSD alumni who come back and share their experiences with their students and support them and become like their role models and mentors. And so we are also very proud of that work. And then finally, the student board member is one of my favorite projects, because just knowing that we have that representation on the Board of Education, we have that one student who represents the voices of all of our students, is such an empowering piece for all students. And so that it's really wonderful to be able to have the opportunity to work with the student board member.
Amazing, just amazing. Let me ask you something else. Over the years, you have supported and mentored the student board members. Can you tell us more on how you prepare for this process, from the application process to the interviews to the election to the swearing in and after?
Yeah, so this year we are going to be electing our 10th student board member. So we have had Karen as our ninth student board member, and so it's really a fun process. We try to make it. I know it's a very competitive process for the students who apply, but we try to make it a process that is more of a learning opportunity for the students who apply. They get a chance to write their essays, which is sort of like a similar process to when they are going to be applying for college. And so some of them have shared that they have used some of like their essays that they've used for the student board member position as a starting point for their college essays. They also are required to for them to submit letters of recommendation. So they also get the opportunity to practice that, the asking different individuals in the school community to provide that letter for them, which is also a way for them to communicate and ask and be resourceful and advocate for themselves. And then the last piece is participating in an interview, which is also another learning point for them. When they come and they provide a little bit more insight on who they are, the things that they love to do, and the things that they hope to advocate if they do if they are elected as a student board member. And so it's a really fun process. The students ultimately have they are the ones who elect the student who is going to represent them on the board of education. And so this year, the election is going to be conducted on School G from May 9th through May 9th through May 23rd. And so the students are going to get reminders on Schoology. So we invite everyone to look out for those reminders so they participate in the election. But the candidates are also working very hard right now. The students who we have 10 finalists for the position, and so they're working really hard to write their speeches and their short bios that we're going to share with all the high school students. And so their speeches, we're going to send a link to all the videos to all of our high school students who are the ones to get to vote for the student board members so that they can get to know who the students that are running for that position, and they get to make that decision on who they think is going to best represent them on the board of education.
Just wonderful. Just wonderful. Now, just one last question, Dr. Franco, just one last one. What can the district do to improve and to strengthen the student voice and empowerment and ensure that each year we have more student participation and genuine student voice?
So what I have learned over the years in this position is that the students really want to have these opportunities. They want to have the spaces. I think we're doing a really great job district-wide. I believe we're the only school district that has a student empowerment unit that is doing the work that we are doing, and I'm very proud of that work. I also think we're the only school district that has so much student participation, like having over almost 300 youth leaders being part of the decision making process. It's like it's impressive. And so I think we're doing great. I think it's never enough though. I really invite our schools to create those spaces for students. Like I would love for each principal to have a student advisory council where they can learn from their students and just hear what's happening on their campuses and how they can improve certain things. And then also the students are really great at sharing like some of the things that are going really well that we can continue, like some things that we should continue doing because they're really making an impact and supporting them. So I think creating those spaces, and then finally advertising what they already have, because many schools offer multiple clubs and just different opportunities, like conferences and things that the schools are organizing, and sometimes the students are not aware. And so I think just finding ways to advertise what we already have and using our students and making sure they have the opportunity to be the ones to share that information with their peers is very powerful when it's peer to peer, when they hear about those opportunities for leadership. So.
Thank you so much for all that information. And now we're going to transition to a very, very special person. And she is our student board member. Her name is Karen Ramirez. And this year, Karen Ramirez was selected by her peers to represent them for the 23-24 school year. And she has been sitting on the dais right next to me for about 9 months. And what an honor for me. What an honor to sit next to Karen. And it's gone by so fast. So let me ask Karen a couple of questions. Karen, can you tell us what school you currently attend, what grade you are in, and what is one of your favorite hobbies?
Okay, so like Mr. Board Member Schmerelson said, my name is Karen and I go to Girls Academic Leadership Academy. I'm in the 12th grade. And one of my favorite hobbies, I really like to make videos. So I like to record any fun places that I go and I compile them into like short 1-minute videos. And that's one of my favorite like pastimes I'd like to do.
That is cool. That is really cool. So Karen, can you tell us what your goals were when you first started? And have your goals changed? And you have some new goals?
I think two of the goals that come to mind are increasing connectivity with the students that I serve, and then also working a lot with immigrant and newcomer populations. When it comes to my first goal, I really think that I've been able to increase the connectivity that I feel with my student community, and it doesn't just go with the students in my school, the students that I always surround myself by, but it's through actually working with all the many different student councils that we have in the student empowerment unit and meeting with them, connecting with them, whether it be online or by email or by text. It's just I really feel like those connections have deepened, and I know so many other students that are not in my circle, and I know them because I'm the student board member. So I think that's one of the biggest things that I love, because not only do I get to meet someone else in the district, but I also get to share any resources or support other people, which is my main goal here as student board member. And I think the second goal was to work with our newcomer and immigrant students in the district. And I really, really feel like I've been given that opportunity, not only because I've been recognized by those communities outside of outside of the boardroom, but I've also really been given so many opportunities to participate with district events that are specifically for those populations. And I've been able to speak with so many stakeholders who can help that community. So I've been really, really grateful that I've been able to reach those goals so far in my time. And I think as I leave, one of my biggest goals is to make sure that the new student board member is elected with the most votes ever. And that's what we're doing right now with Dr. Franco, is that we're going to different sessions and with teachers and showing them how we can ensure that there's more voting going on in the classroom.
That's wonderful. What goals? What goals? What can I say? Karen, can you tell us how students can participate and how they can benefit from your initiatives?
Yeah, I think one of my biggest passions or purpose on the school board is to spread resources. And I think that as someone who's being more connected with the student population that I serve, I think that's the biggest thing, just spreading different resources that we might know about. So if someone wants to participate in my initiative, which is just to spread access to opportunities, it's by not being afraid to share anything that might help others and using their voices to uplift others and empower them with resources so that we can all grow together. And I think that's just my biggest one, just to make sure that we're all participating together and sharing different resources that will help us grow and be better students in the district.
And Karen, in your own opinion, what do you think is needed to support student empowerment and ensure that each year we have more student participation and genuine student voice? What do you think?
I know Dr. Franco said we have around 300 students that are part of our student empowerment unit and that are helping us make sure that we get the most accurate student voice as possible. But I think that we can still grow. I think that we can still be larger. And I think that the way that the district can help is by advertising all the different opportunities that we have. We have so many, I can't even count how many different student councils we have, or the different conferences that Dr. Franco helps put on for the district and the students. So we have like the men's empowerment conference, we have the women's leadership empowerment conference. We just have so many different conferences available for our students and different council opportunities that they can join. And I think just by advertising these things more and more, there are students out there who do want to participate in things like this, but sometimes they just don't know about it. So just spreading the word, getting everything out there, I think that's how we're going to be able to increase student participation and have students who really, really want to make the district better.
Okay, that's beautiful. Karen, from your time on the board, what are some of the lessons that you have learned throughout your journey as a student board member?
I think one of the biggest things that I've learned is that no question is like, oh, I don't want to use this word, but no, but I should always ask questions if I have them. So that's one of the biggest things, because I know when I'm sitting on the boardroom listening to a presentation, sometimes a question comes to mind and like, maybe I should ask that, but I don't know if I should. And then someone next to me on the board or another board member asked the same exact thing that I was thinking. I was like, oh, I could have asked that. And so I think I've learned to always ask things when I feel like it's something important and that I should bring up in any setting, and that can and that can translate to whether I'm in the classroom, whether I'm in somewhere in my community, or even if I'm on the school board. I think just when I feel that there's something that needs to be asked, I shouldn't shy away to ask just because I'm a student or someone who's in a different position. I just think I should feel confident and empowered to ask questions when they come up, because I think that's something that I will continue using beyond the school board.
So, right. And for our last question, this is a real important one. What advice would you give students?
Well, when I'm thinking of students, I'm thinking of the finish line, which for me is college. It might not be college for every student, but it might just be a career goal or something different. But I think when you're building yourself and when you're getting up there, where you're getting where you want to go, there's always going to be different opportunities that you come across along the way. And I think my biggest piece of advice is to never say no to an opportunity or shy away from it. Because when I was applying for the student board member, at first I didn't even think about it. It was an opportunity that was there for me, and I wasn't going to grab it just because I said, oh, I don't want to write an essay, or I don't want to make interviews or write a speech. But then I just said, you know what, like I have time and it's a really great position that could benefit so many students in LA Unified. So I just took the opportunity to see what happens, and it ended up helping me grow in so many ways and helping me feel like I'm really making an impact in what I do. So that's my piece of advice. Just always say yes to any opportunity that comes your way, because you don't know what's going to come from it.
That is great advice. That certainly is. So we are finished with our interviews today. And Dr. Lorena Franco, how can I thank you for all the work that you do for our kids? You're right. You are right, Karen. You should applaud her. Wonderful, wonderful. And Karen, you too. You know, I sit next to you on the board. You are compassionate, you are kind, and you are brilliant. So what qualities you have. Good luck to you. Thank you so much.